Um, there's a few characters here that are important figures. I mentioned Alan Young a few times, the #1 lawyer in Canada on the issue. Historically, I may unfortunately add, because my understanding is he doesn't do much in this area anymore. He's kind of had some issues and stuff, and while he firmly believes in the legalization of cannabis, he's kind of moved on to other things. Warren Hitzig is often known and thought of in terms of the Hitzig decision, it was called. He led a group of people out of Toronto, and the Compassion Club got busted there, the TCC. Not busted, sorry, they first got robbed, and then the police came in after it was reported and then busted them. So along the way, they filed a class action lawsuit that Warren was the leader of, and it was combined with the trial somehow. It was in 2003 a precedent-setting case that proved that the MMAR were illusionary and unworkable. Catherine DeVries has passed away in the last year or two. She was from Kitchener, Ontario, and a very outspoken person. Alison Mearden, I believe is how it pronounced, is a member of Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, and out of Burlington, Ontario, a really strong advocate in the community as well. Michelle Rainey came to our convention last year, and probably going to come along with Jeff this year. She works with Marco Redna, I believe you say his name, a publisher, Treating Yourself, who is also one of the people who filed in the Hitzig decision. Treating Yourself focuses primarily on the medicinal uses of cannabis, and is probably, in some ways, I would have to say, the premier magazine in the industry right now. Then there's Boris St. Maurice, and his friends here out of the Montreal Compassion Club. I believe they started in 1999, and they now have a club in Quebec that's open since the last lecture. And so,
and it's a bilingual club.
Holy cow. First in the country. That's neat. Really awesome guy. He's plugging his way through the Liberal Party. He was leading the Marijuana Party of Canada for years as well, but yeah, just really down-to-earth guy. And yeah, so his club opened in '99, and there's been a number of clubs open across the country. And certainly, you know, a lot of the major centers have them, but on the other hand, there's a lot of huge cities that don't, certainly many that don't even appear to have kind of networks of people. Winnipeg, I think, would be the largest city that comes to mind. Calgary may have a small group of people networking with each other, but really it's nothing that's that large and organized. There's a small network doing distribution out of, in Edmonton, but there's no storefront for medical marijuana from Nelson, BC, all the way pretty much to like maybe Guelph, Ontario is kind of the closest thing west. There's an awesome little club in Guelph, Ontario, and I've tried to do my best to actually go around the country and, not that I fly around a lot, but and see the clubs big and small. This summer I had the honor of going and seeing 4 of the smaller clubs in Toronto, the Rainbow Medicinal Center and Human, and oh gee, I'll never remember them all. The Exemption 56 Club, and I think it's on here. The Medical Compassion Clinic. That's right. And it's really neat to see how each club will have different nuances, such that, you know, there's no cookie cutter. No 2 clubs really have the same forms and such. Although there are some that are very, very close to each other, but they all do have different styles and such. You have a question?
I heard about a store in Regina that's like a hemp paraphernalia store, where the guy has an exemption and he's giving away his extra. I heard. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't heard about anything in Regina like that.
Because it'd be like the first Prairies one.
Yeah, I have heard of some sort of exemption group in a way, or not exemption, but MMAR group working in the Prairies. That was kind of neat, where it was a cooperative, and when you join the co-op, half of your crop would go into the group that would be spread equally amongst everybody else. And so you would get a little bit of everybody else's crop, and then you kept half of yours, which gave you incentive to help other people grow good herb and have good strains and teach each other tricks and such, and high yield and things like that. So it may be even a little branch of that where that group is providing for themselves enough that they can pitch through some thrift store. Hadn't heard of it, but that's really cool. There's all sorts of little stuff I haven't heard of, that's for sure. Even going to Toronto, we discovered there were not only the 5 clubs that we knew of, but there were 3 smaller ones we had never heard of, and I've still not seen 2 of them.
How do you discover these things? Because you'd think they'd be a little underground,
They are very underground. Yeah, no, I can move into towns and find out about clubs that people that live there don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm very lucky to be quite well connected, and even though I'm an obvious heat scorer, I usually go and incriminate myself so much in front of people, they start trusting me quickly.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing to do. I just start pulling the bag of hot out on the table and tell them what you're doing, and they're like, oh, okay, this guy's cool. Yeah, just all sorts of different things. And so yeah, I guess on one hand, our club has got one of the, I guess, more accessible clubs in the country, in that we require written proof of a diagnosis of a permanent physical disability or disease, but we don't go further than that. We essentially protect the patient's rights not only to choose this medicine, but that they don't even have to tell their doctor what they're doing. Your doctor is not your parent, or they don't own you. You have control over what herbs and plants and therapy that you want to do, and you have certainly good reason to tell your doctor what you're doing. But if your doctor's like all paranoid and going to cut you off different medications or treat you differently or see you less or whatever, there's no legal reason. And in many cases, no medical reason to inform your doctor what you're doing.
And in America, they prevent you from getting organ transplants if your doctor has signed for you to be a medical marijuana recipient. Yeah.
Hooray,
So then, and we do not call up doctors' offices to confirm that the person is their client and stuff. We go through the paperwork enough to assure ourselves that it's a legitimate medical use, and according to our mandate. Other clubs will have their bare minimum standard is they'll have different forms. Most of the clubs